The disappearance of a Navy ship, a German tourist gone missing, and the corpse of a child found in a box. These are some unsolved mysteries we will be discussing tonight with all their horrifying backstories. What's good, everybody? I'm your host Tokyo, back at it with a brand new video. Another solo video. As you guys can see, you guys really enjoyed that last video of the scary messages and songs that are played backwards. So we will be continuing this series of the creepy, scary, unsettling type of content. And yes, there will be a part 2 to the backwards songs video. So stay tuned for that. I will be doing that for sure. It is on the list. But for this video, we will be doing unsolved mysteries that will keep you up at night. Also, if I sound kind of weird, I'm sick. I've been sick like this whole week. It's been so annoying. Lack of energy. It's crazy, but you know, we gotta get this done. Now, I've always been interested in unsolved mysteries just because of how terrifying these cases are when it comes to missing people, you know, murders, all of these creepy things done, yet there are no leads to where, why, or how it even happened. It's very unsettling, especially when it goes on years on end without any real conclusion to it, especially when it comes to more modern cases, because our technology is getting so advanced. Everything just makes you think that we will be able to solve these mysteries much more easier. But yeah, it can 360 around and even help suspects get away with their doings. So it's a pretty creepy thought right there. Anyway, sit back, relax. I hope you're watching this at night for the best experience. Turn off all your lights. I am recording this at night as well, just so I could catch the vibe with y'all. You guys already know how it's going. And yeah, let's get into it. Case number 1, the boy in the box. The boy in the box, also known as America's Unknown Child and the Fox Chase Boy, is a nickname given to a boy found murdered in the Fox Chase area of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1957. The child's body was found nude, wrapped in a Native American-style blanket that had been cut in half. He was placed in a cardboard box, which led to his nickname. The body was found by a college student named Frederick. Walking around in the area, he waited an entire day to call police due to the fact that he was stalking women and didn't want to get arrested. It turned out that another man named John, who was looking at his illegal muskrat trap, found the body 2 days before but noticed it, but never told police. The boy had been beaten severely, as many bruises were visible on his body. Severe bruising in the face pointed to blunt force trauma as a cause of death. Due to the cool weather, a time of death could only be given between a couple of days to a few weeks. However, due to the rain between the week of February 18th to the 25th, and the lack of water damage to the cardboard box he was discovered in, it is hypothesized he was killed in the time frame of the earlier estimate. Now, there's a few theories to his death. We're going to be talking about 2 that most likely seem the most realistic ones, I guess. Also the most popular ones as well. Theory number 1. A woman may have bought, abused, and killed him. Over the course of their investigation, detectives received many tips from people who claimed to know the true identity of the boy in the box and how he died. One of these tips came from a woman known only as Martha, who said when she was a girl, her mother, who worked as a librarian, purchased the child and brought him to their home in Philadelphia. According to Martha, her mother told her the boy's name was Jonathan and made him sleep in their dark and dirty basement. Martha alleges her mother, who had subjected her to sexual abuse, bought Jonathan for the express purpose of doing the same to him. She also claims Jonathan vomited in the bathtub and her incensed mother smashed the boy against the floor, killing him. After the child died, Martha said she accompanied her mother to get rid of the boy's body somewhere in Philadelphia. While detectives investigated Martha's claims, which came decades after the discovery of the boy, they were unable to find evidence that proved the information she provided was either true or false. Theory number 2. He may have died accidentally in a foster home. One of the most popular theories about the boy in the box is that he was an orphan who lived at a foster home when he died accidentally, either by falling out of a window or drowning in a lake. This particular theory came from Remington Bristow, a Philadelphia medical examiner. A psychic told him she thought the child had died while he was living in an old mansion that a couple had turned into a foster home. Bristow had already interviewed a husband and wife who ran a children's home out of a mansion, and when he attended an estate sale at the home in 1961, after the family moved away, he said he discovered a bassinet in the house similar to that sort that would have been packaged in a cardboard box like the one the police found the child's body in. Bristow believed the boy may have been the secret son of this couple's young daughter, and when he died in some sort of accident, they dumped his body because they didn't want to be suspected of a murder or have anyone find out about the existence of their legitimate grandchild. Decades later, a detective followed up this lead and interviewed the woman Bristow thought was a boy's mother, only to find out that she did have a son who died in an accident in 1957. However, morgue records proving the boy in the box couldn't have been her child. Now, even to this day, these are just theories, and ultimately the case is unsolved. Nobody knows who this child was, and he's still known as America's unknown child. This case overall is one of the most unsettling ones I've ever heard. A random child between the age of 4 to 7 years old found inside a cardboard box that was dropped off, on the side of the road in Pennsylvania. And nobody, no doctors or whatever, could figure out who this child was, his identity or anything. It's actually crazy. Yet, probably the most depressing and unsettling part of this is even to this day on his grave, it still says America's unknown child on it. Case number 2. The disappearance of the USS Cyclops. The Cyclops was nearly 550 feet long with a crew of over 306 people. She had been sailing successfully since 1910, so any theories of the ship being unstable and not being able to sail right, we're gonna have to just throw those out the window, because the ship was sailing right, everything was, fine about it, nothing wrong with the ship. In March 1918, the ship was given a new cargo, tons and tons of dense manganese ore, used in steel making. She left Brazil loaded up with the brittle metal, then voyaged to Barbados to resupply for the long journey home to Baltimore. The last known message from the ship said simply, "Weather fair, all well." But on the 9-day journey, something went wrong, and no one from the ship was ever seen or heard again, vanishing without even an SOS. Now this is crazy because, nothing was left behind, no scraps of metal of the ship, no bodies just floating around, no random cargo, nothing was left at all when they went searching for what happened to the Cyclops. It was almost as if something grabbed the ship and pulled it down to the depths of the ocean. Who knows? It just completely vanished, no trace left behind whatsoever. Throughout the decades, there have been a flurry of sometimes sensational theories about the ship's disappearance, as one among more than 100 ships and planes to have mysteriously disappeared in the so-called Bermuda Triangle, the region roughly bounded by Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico. Now, the Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is an urban legend focused on a loosely defined region in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean, where a number of aircraft and ships are said to have disappeared under mysterious circumstances. At the time, people wondered whether the ship and crew had been the victim of a German submarine or raider. It was barely a year into the First World War, and the Cyclops would have made a strategic target. Yet nothing materialized, and as time went on, it has become less and less likely that German crafts had been in the area at all. Now, the US Navy has come out with an official statement about the USS Cyclops, and they said, "The disappearance of this ship has been one of the most baffling mysteries in the Navy, all attempts to locate her having proved unsuccessful." Now, was the ship eaten by some beast of the deep, carried off as evidenced by UFOs, or simply taken by a storm? The mystery remains unsolved, and who knows if it will ever be found again. USS Cyclops, one of the biggest ships the Navy has ever seen. It's crazy. A whole ship full with 300 plus people randomly vanished, no communications of any SOS or anything found. So how is it that a big ship like that, carrying tons and tons of, cargo, metals, but it's just so creepy that it just all vanished, and perfectly ties in with the Bermuda Triangle just because, they were passing through it. And the Bermuda Triangle is one of those very mysterious things, it's just crazy. We might talk about that on the channel in the future too, just because, Bermuda Triangle is wild. But that one is very creepy. Who knows what happened to the ship? Case number 3, the disappearance of Lars Matank. All right, this one is beyond creepy. It's absolutely horrifying. We're gonna get into this. This one actually kind of got me shook, to be honest. In June of 2014, 20-year-old German tourist Lars Matank traveled to the popular Golden Sands resort in Varna, Bulgaria for a holiday with friends. After displaying unusual behavior on the trip following a suspected beating, he bolted from the airport and was captured by cameras, disappearing into a field of tall sunflowers. No trace of him has ever been found. Footage of his final known movements has been viewed over 1 million times on YouTube, leading to him being named the world's most famous missing tourist. Matank and his friends arrived in Varna, a city on the Bulgarian Black Sea coast, on the 30th of June 2014. A week later, while drinking in a bar with friends, Werder Bremen fan Matank got into an altercation with fans of rival team Bayern Munich. After leaving the bar, Matank disappeared, with his friends unable to locate him for the rest of the night. However, he turned up at the resort room, and following morning, telling his friends he had been beaten by 4 men he had argued with in the bar the previous night. Some friends recalled his account differently, saying Matank had told them the 4 Bayern fans had hired a local to do it for them. Now, an examination by a doctor found that Matank did have injuries consistent with the fight, including a cracked jaw and a ruptured eardrum. Prescribed antibiotics, Matank was advised that due to his ear injury, he would be unable to fly home with the rest of his party that were due to depart that day. Reassuring his friends that he would be fine, Matank checked out at the same time as them before checking into a nearby hotel, Color Verna, for one night. It was during his night at the Hotel Color that Matank began to demonstrate strange behavior, appearing paranoid that he was being pursued by the group of men he claimed had beaten him the previous night. At one point, he hid in an elevator for a prolonged period of time before leaving the hotel at around midnight and only returning hours later. He even called his mother, asking her in a hushed voice to cancel his credit cards, as 4 men were intending to kill him. The following day, Matank traveled to Varna airport, where he met with the airport doctor to discuss if his ear had healed sufficiently to allow him to fly home. During the conversation, it appears the pair were interrupted by a man who was working on a construction project in the airport. Startled, Matank fled from the airport, wearing only a t-shirt and shorts, leaving the bag he has seen carrying an earlier CCTV footage behind. Multiple cameras recorded him fleeing across the parking lot before climbing a fence and disappearing into a field of sunflowers. No trace of Matank has ever been found. While there remains a possibility that he really was being pursued, it seems more likely that his head injury, possibly combined with the effects of the antibiotic he was prescribed or some other substance he had ingested during the holiday, triggered some kind of psychotic episode. While his mother continues to seek leads regarding her son's disappearance, and despite years of investigation from Germany's Federal Criminal Police Office, no concrete leads have ever turned up. Despite this, every so often, internet researchers or other concerned citizens report sightings that they believe to be Matank. One truck driver claimed to have given Matank a lift in Brandenburg in 2019. Noting his striking resemblance to the missing man, a follow-up by police found nothing, when a man with no identification or apparent recollection of who he was turned up in Porto Velho, Brazil in 2016. Many online researchers claimed it could be Matank. However, the man was eventually identified as missing Canadian Anton Polipa. Until this day, Matank has still not been found. No body remains whatsoever. They can't find no skeleton. Who knows what happened to him? The last thing we have of him is that footage of him in the airport just running away into the sunflower field and just disappearing from there. Many theorized that he was being pursued by, human traffickers, or the men he got into a fight with at the bar were just trying to kill him now at this point. It was a very strange thing. And then also what, was explained was that he was having a psychotic episode because of his antibiotics and everything. And it's just a very, very strange case. It's very unsettling. What happened to Matank? Where could he have gone? How his body not been found or anything? This is a pretty crazy one. And yeah, I guess we'll never know where he went with that. Anyways, that's the end of the video right there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A little short one. We went into only 3. Let me know if you guys want to hear more. I can talk about more Unsolved Mysteries, and I could go into even more detail as well if you guys want, because these could be longer, because some of these cases could go on pretty long. I kind of just summarize, give you guys like the best theories, and everything they got. But if you guys really want to hear a full out explanation with everything, let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. It really helps out the channel a lot. And yeah, part 2 of the backwards songs coming soon. As I said, stay tuned for that. It's going to be a banger. And yeah, let me know down in the comments if you guys have any theories of your own kind for these cases right here, or if you guys want to see a specific case be talked about on the channel, let me know. Also, check out the TikTok and Instagram. I'll sometimes upload like exclusive content there that you won't see on YouTube, but you guys will see on the social medias. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.